Apple's officially announced the AirPods Pro 3 during its big ore-dropping event at Apple Park, and I've got to say guys, while these don't exactly blow me away in the way a brand new category of products might, they are shaping up to be a solid improvement over AirPods Pro 2. And honestly, sometimes that's all you really want. You don't always need a dramatic redesign or completely new technology, you just want the things that you already like to get a little better, a little more refined, a little more reliable. That's what Apple seems to have delivered with these. So let's dive into everything Apple's announced with the AirPods Pro 3, why I think they're a sensible upgrades, and how they fit into Apple's wider audio strategy. And of course, I'll be diving into whether you should buy them or not, if you've been sitting on the sidelines, waiting for Apple's next pair of wireless earbuds. The first big change this year is better active noise cancellation. This is a fun one because Mark Gurman, who's usually right about these things, said in his reporting that no ANC improvements were coming this year. But he was wrong because Apple themselves are saying AirPods Pro 3 are up to 2 times better in terms of ANC than AirPods Pro 2, and 4 times better compared to the original pair. Those are bold numbers, and while Apple does love to round things up in its marketing, even if it's halfway true, this will be substantial. The AirPods Pro 2 were already impressive when it came to blocking out background noise. They were ideal for flights, busy coffee shops, or just drowning out the sound of traffic, but they weren't flawless. Low rumbles and background chatter still came through, so if AirPods Pro 3 can genuinely double the performance, that's something you'll notice on day one. Personally, this is the part I'm excited to test, guys. Earbuds live and die by how well they handle noise cancellation, and if these are genuinely as good as Apple says, they could easily become the gold standards. And then we come to battery life. On paper, this looks like a straightforward upgrade, but the long-term benefits are even bigger. The AirPods Pro 3 now offer up to 10 hours of listening time in transparency modes, which is a 67% increase compared to AirPods Pro 2. With ANC switched on, they still last up to 8 hours, which is really solid. This isn't just convenient in the short term, it's crucial in the long run as well, because if you've ever owned AirPods for more than a couple of years, you'll know how exactly the battery life drops off. My AirPods Pro 2 that I've had for over 2 years has noticeably degraded in terms of battery life, and that's just the nature of these small batteries. Starting at a higher baseline means that even after 2 or 3 years, AirPods Pro 3 should still be delivering respectable numbers. It makes them a safer investment over time, which is something I think a lot of buyers overlook. Now of course, Apple wouldn't be Apple without a little trade-off. While the earbuds themselves last longer, the charging case has actually taken a step backwards. With AirPods Pro 2, you got up to 30 hours of listening time with the case. With AirPods Pro 3, that drops down to 24 hours. That's disappointing on paper, but honestly, I don't think it'll be a deal breaker. Most charge their case regularly anyway, and Apple's reasoning is clear. The case is smaller and more pocketable this time. So yeah, the numbers are lower, but the trade-off makes sense. Now, if you're enjoying this breakdown so far, make sure you hit subscribe. I've got loads more Apple coverage coming very soon, and you don't want to miss it. Let's now move on to one of the more eye-catching new features, live translation. This is powered by Apple Intelligence, and it's designed to let you hear real-time translations of foreign languages directly in your AirPods. Right now supports English, French, German, Portuguese, and Spanish, with more languages promised by the end of the year. This is one of those things that sounds like a gimmick on stage, but if it actually works seamlessly, it could be life-changing for travelers, students, or anyone who regularly communicates across languages. That being said, it's important to remember that live translation is not exclusive to these new AirPods. Apple's already confirmed it's coming to AirPods Pro 2 and even AirPods 4, so while it's a cool addition, it's not necessarily a reason to upgrade. The big question is whether Apple can pull this off without noticeable delay, because if there's lag or if the voices sound robotic, people won't use it. But if it feels natural, this could be one of those Apple features that quietly becomes indispensable. One thing that genuinely surprised me with AirPods Pro 3 is the fact they did not get a new chipset. We're still looking at the same H2 chipset as the AirPods Pro 2. That's unusual because Apple often ties big new features to a fresh chipset to encourage upgrades, but here we're getting audio improvements and better ANC with the same silicon. That suggests Apple's either refined their algorithms to unlock more potential, or they were holding back some performance with AirPods Pro 2. Either way, it shows the H2 chipset still has a lot of headroom. Another addition is heart rate tracking. This was rumored for years, and it's finally here. With your AirPods and your iPhone, you can now track your heart rate, calories burned, and even close your move ring in the fitness app. It's impressive to see Apple pack that into something so small. Personally though, I don't see myself using this too much. I've got an Apple Watch that already does this with more accuracy, and I trust it more, but I understand why Apple's added this. Not everyone has a watch, and for those people, AirPods can now double up as an entry point into fitness tracking. Design changes are small but meaningful. The AirPods Pro 3 are slightly smaller than the Pro 2, and Apple says they've reworked the geometry of the ear tips to make them more stable. This should help them stay put during intense workouts or long listening sessions, and for the first time, Apple's including foam-infused tips. There are now 5 sizes instead of 4. For me, the extra small tips on AirPods Pro 2 already made a massive difference, and I can already comfortably wear the current AirPods Pro all day, so I'm very curious to see how much better the fit is this time. Comfort and seal are crucial for both audio quality and ANC, and if Apple's genuinely improved them, that's another reason these are a smarter buy. Durability also gets a boost. With an upgraded IP57 rating, that means better dust resistance and more protection against water and sweat. You shouldn't go swimming with these, but for workouts, runs in the rains or dusty hikes, they'll hold up better than before. It's not the most exciting upgrade, but it's one you'll be thankful for in everyday usage. So when you put it all together, the AirPods Pro 3 brings some very clear improvements. Better ANC, Apple says twice as good as the Pro 2, longer listening time per charge, up to 10 hours in transparency modes, and 8 with ANC on, a smaller case that drops overall listening time to 24 hours, which is a slight disappointment but not a deal breaker, live translation powered by Apple Intelligence, though not exclusive, heart rate tracking and workout integration for those who don't have an Apple Watch, foam-infused tips with 5 sizes for a better fit, improved dust and water resistance at IP57, and all of this while keeping the same $249 price tag. And that last point is worth emphasizing. Apple did not give us a price increase. In 2025, where everything's seemingly going up in cost, that's refreshing. Apple could have easily charged $279 or even $299 for these, and people would have still bought them, but they didn't. That makes AirPods Pro 3 instantly feel like good value, at least by Apple standards. If you already own the AirPods Pro 2, they're still pretty good, but I will say mine have definitely degraded because I've had them for over 2 years, so I'm considering the upgrade, and if you're in the same boat, then yes, these are worth getting. But definitely if you're still using the original AirPods Pro, or you've just been waiting for Apple to make meaningful upgrades before spending $249 again, the AirPods Pro 3 absolutely is the time to jump in. They feel more polished, more future-proof, and more reliable than any pair before them. Personally, I'm very much looking forward to testing them in the real world. I want to see if the ANC really does feel like it's twice as strong as before. I want to test how seamless live translation is, and I want to see if those new foam tips make a big difference for comfort, because if Apple's genuinely nailed all 3 of those things, then I think AirPods Pro 3 could quietly end up being one of the most satisfying Apple upgrades of the year. And who knows, maybe these could go on discount on Amazon very soon in just a few weeks, as has been the case for older AirPods models. So these could be an even better deal very soon. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be covering everything Apple's launching this autumn, and you don't want to miss what's next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.